All right, everybody, let me get my camera here mounted up. So, what are we talking about today? Well, another acquisition into my pew-pew type of tools. So, always love having military-style pistols and things. And, you know, you got the grandfather of them all going back to the 1911. So this one is a Springfield Armoury 1911-A1 loaded. Had this for a long time. Went to my friend Joe, who passed away a couple years ago now, and his family gave this back to me, which I was very honored to have that back. I don't have a lot of sentimental objects in life. This is one. So when you think about your military pistols, though, your kind of standard issue, whether they be ours or another military, you can't, this is still used in a lot of the world. And then also a creation of John Moses Browning was the Browning Hipower. Now this is one that's a clone made by Girsan out of Turkey. Very nicely done. And so I've got the Browning Hipower, which was the first real double stack high capacity semi-automatic 9mm. Designed by John Moses Browning, just like the 1911, but then also it comes in 9mm, and you know, there was some other enhancements that he had made to that. For the longest time, this was our standard issue, and this was, I don't think, was ever used as a standard U.S. Issue, but it's been issued as a military sidearm all around the world, and there's still militaries today that are using the Browning Hipower. It's just a venerable design. And then you've got the M9-A1. This one is also made by Girsan. So this is a clone of the Beretta M9. And I think this is the A9 or the A1 or the A2. M9, A1, or A2. Whichever one came with the rails, the accessory rails and stuff. And it's got a decocker on it and beautifully Cerakoted, just a really nice gun. Bit big, bit bulky, but that replaced for the U.S. Armed Forces the 1911. And then after that, the military was looking for a new standard sidearm for the armed forces, and they wanted a modular design and all that, and a bunch of different guns were submitted for consideration. But the one that actually won the contract is this guy right here. So it was based off the P320 platform and is the M17. There is also an M18, which is the same gun with an inch of the barrel lopped off. So think of that as like your 1911, your standard, then you got your commander size, which is full-size grip, 1 inch shorter on the barrel. There's an M18, and I think the Army uses the M17, but maybe the Marines use the M18. This one does have a Wilson Combat upgraded plastic grip. So that just changes the ergonomics a little bit, and I think it looks a little nicer. But that is the current military sidearm for the U.S. Armed Forces. And then, of course, you've got the CZ75. Now, this is a PCR, so this is one, it's a P01 is the model. It's a CZ75. This has been used by militaries around the world and police forces. And the P01, or if you see one called the PCR, that's the lightweight aluminum frame compact with a decocker, and that was designed for military and police use. And there are police forces around the world that are using variations of this. So I wanted another one. Let's clear all these out of the way here. I wanted another one that was in that same sort of venue. And here's what I came up with. We've got the Sig M11-A1. Now, I'll have to do a little bit of research, and I always just kind of get these videos and kind of wing it, and probably should have done the research ahead of time. But this is not like the Army, you know, when I say it's a military pistol, this is something that's used by certain special forces units and things like that. So it is basically a 229, which is the compact, more compact version of the 226. It's 9mm. This uses an aluminum frame, so it is light for its bulk. And it is chambered in 9mm. Magazines, I think, are 15 rounders. So you got 15 rounds, so 15 plus 1. What I really like about it is the Sig night sights. And there's just something about a Sig, and this, we're going to talk about something here, the intangibles in a moment, and why I just kind of gravitated towards this particular pistol. What I also like is it has a decocker. So you can safely drop the hammer. We have an empty magazine. I've already racked the slide and checked it. Just brought it home, so all the mags are unloaded. Haven't even had a chance to load it yet. But it is a double single action. So if you're unfamiliar with that, the single action means the trigger performs one single function. You cock the hammer manually, or when the slide racks itself from the discharge of a round, that hammer is cocked back, ready to go, and it simply takes a single pull of the trigger to make it go pew pew. And then it would do that, eject a round, grab a new one out of a magazine, and you're ready to go. Nice short reset, nice serviceable, trigger pull. There is also double action. So for folks that want to round in the chamber and you want to carry it that way, you can put a loaded magazine in, rack it, and then you can safely drop the hammer with that lever. It moves, there's a firing pin block, it moves it out of the way so that the hammer comes down gradually on its own. But even if that hammer would have snapped down, with this lever pushed, there's no way for it to hit the firing pin and touch off the round. And at that point, there's a round live in the chamber, and then you're going to have a double action trigger pull, which means the trigger now performs two functions. One, pulls the hammer back, and then releases it. So you get two motions, double action. It does come with the Sig tritium night sights. It's got a nice black nitride finish. This is all aluminum. The grips are not rubber. They're a hard texture plastic from Sig, but plenty of companies make everything from G10 to other types of plastic. To the Hogue rubber grips are really nice. I will probably go and see if I can find a bit of a set of slim grips, because the one, I would say if there's a downside to this, is it's light for its size, because yeah, there's all steel up here, but all this is all aluminum down here. And then you have a plastic shell, the grip, that sits over the aluminum frame. You do have jimping, texturing up here, up here. It really does sit in the hand nice, but it is a little bit like holding a Glock. It's a little bit like holding a 2x4. I wouldn't mind it to be a little thinner through here. It can only get so thin because you have this lever and some of the mechanics here for the decocker. So you're only gonna get so thin, but I'm gonna see if there's a set of slim grips that trims it down just a little. I do have big hands, so it does fit my hand fairly well. But that is something I feel like it could be just a tiny bit better. Recoil on these things is minimal. They really do a good job of eating it up. What weight this does have, it's only about 25.7 ounces unloaded, which for an all-metal pistol is not that much. It's only a couple ounces more than a Glock 19. But what you do have is, what the weight you do have is in the slide. So that reciprocating mass will slow down the recoil of 9mm, which isn't that, it's not that hot to begin with, 9mm. But it will go ahead and eat that up. What I like about the Sig is there's something intangible about a Sig. When you hold certain weapons, when you hold a Glock, you feel like you're holding a Glock. There's this Sig, my M17. This is a great gun. It's very accurate. This has a night sight on the front, actually both a night sight in the back too. It's optics ready. It's a really good ergonomic, excellent shooting handgun. Nothing wrong with the M17 or any of the P320 series. But when you shoot it, it's striker fired. It definitely feels, we're all clear here. These ones are in the closet, so I have them with magazines loaded, but nothing in the chambers. But we do a double safety check before we pull the trigger. And I don't know, it feels like a Glock. It's got a better trigger than a Glock, but it just, at the end of the day, it just feels like a different type of Glock. And I looked at some of the HKs that they had in stock, and they were the VP9s, again, which are really ergonomic. They're great pistols, but there's something about a hammer-fired gun that I just really like. And pretty much everything other than that M17 I had out, Hammer, the 1911, Hammer, the CZ75 and all their variants, Hammer. And the Beretta, Hammer. There's something satisfying. There's something cool and mechanical about it. I understand that there are some benefits to the striker-fired pistols, but I tend to just prefer the trigger pull. I just like that mechanical attribute. If I were to, again, I took the magazine out, so we're empty, clear. If I were to chamber a round, that's in there. There's no way to decock it. Now you could say, well, you don't have to, just keep your finger off the trigger. Yeah, I know, and I carry a Glock a lot and some other pistols that are like that. But if you do like to carry something in the chamber, but you just want that extra added step of safety of, if you pull the thing out of its holster, chances are if you're using it in defense, you're going to be under extreme stress. You might accidentally, no matter how much training, we can all say, well, train, train, train. Until your life is on the line, you don't really know how you're going to react. And you pull out, your finger maybe hits the trigger because you're all amped up on adrenaline. And so everything you do is got like 10 times the normal strength of, what you do. You've seen, stories of people lifting a car off their kid or something. It's like the human body, when you get that jolt of adrenaline, your ability to think and reason and think things through kind of goes out the window, but your strength and reaction goes up. So some people like that manual safety, so it's just one extra thing to stand between you and an accidental discharge. And that's where I like that's where I like having the hammer, especially on a gun that has a decocker. So if we go ahead, clear the weapon, we're all good. I can go rack around, and then I can decock it and just have it carried a little bit safer. And when it's ready to go, it's just, when I pull it out, if I had to use it, it just means I have a little bit of a longer trigger pull, that first trigger pull. But it's very hard for me to kind of hit that or tap it as I'm pulling it out, or I'm struggling with something and, accidentally, shoot myself in the foot kind of thing. So that's what I really like about that. I like having a hammer. That doesn't mean I won't carry guns, that are striker fired, because I absolutely do. But there's something when you're holding a Sig, the closest gun I can compare it to, even though there are differences, would be something like this Beretta, or the Girsan version of the Beretta. Also has a decocker, has a really nice trigger. That action is just so slick. And this one's never even been fired and broken in. It's just a really well-made pistol. But when you hold something like this, yeah, this one is a bit bulkier and the design's a bit dated. I mean, I think this was developed in the 70s or something like that. But there's just something, it's like holding the 1911, right? When you have a 1911 in your hand, you feel like you're holding something of substance. You feel like you're holding something strong. You feel like you're holding a piece of history. And you don't get that with a Glock. You don't get that with the M17. You do get that with the Hipower. You do get that with a Beretta or Beretta clone. You do get that with a CZ75. Spades. This is a fantastic weapon. And you do get that with a Sig, with one of these types, the 226, the 220, 229, which is what this is. I really wish, I'm thinking of buying back, if Alan will sell it to me, my 239 I sold him years ago. They discontinued those. They're super compact, really just amazing. You would not think a little gun like that would shoot 9mm so softly and accurately, but they did. But there is just something, when you're holding on to this, or an HK USP or a P30, one of the more classic designs, you just feel like you're holding something special. And you know that the quality is there. This thing is going to work. It's just a fantastic all-around design. It's battle-proven. It's been used by special forces and all kinds of stuff. It's very easy to just take down. You got your I don't know if these recoil springs, are they captive? No. So you do have to be careful you don't have that come out and shoot across the room. But, take it apart, clean it. I'm going to go ahead and do that and oil it and stuff while I've got it here. The rails, a little dry. I'm just going to go ahead and put some lube on that. But all in all, just an absolutely fantastic pistol. The only thing I would critique it for is but I knew this going in, is I'm going to look and see if there's a set of more comfortable grips, just a little bit thinner. Something just to make it a little less bulky. It does fill your hand up nice, and you do get a lot of grip on it. So there is that. But this is just there's something about the Sig, the 229. So I went into my local gun store. I sold a couple of my other guns. So I had some cash in my pocket, and I was like, let me go see. I haven't had one of these in a while, and I haven't had an HK. I couldn't find an HK that I want. And then I saw this. They said it was used, but I mean, there's no signs of wear on here. It looked like the original grease. No scratches, no blemishes, no holster wear for $970, which I think these new are normally like $1,099. They're about $1,100 plus tax. So I was able to get this and an extra Sig mag because it only came with two. So I bought a third mag, and I bought a Blade Tech holster, and I was out the door for less than $1,100, less than what a brand new one would have cost me. And it's a Sig. It's going to run forever. So that's what I've got. You look at this and you think that's a pretty good size. You would be amazed at how light this is. This is really light aircraft grade aluminum. Full length guide rails, so it's well supported. It's just, this is going to be a great shooter. This one's going to, I used to have one like this, and I sold it, and I've regretted it ever since. I was like, why did I let that one go? There's certain guns that come into my collection, and I'm like, I'll shoot them for a while. The M18 might be one of those. You know, it's the standard military sidearm, and I like that. But I'm like, it doesn't feel any, I mean, it's just a, like I said, it's a variation of a Glock. There's a lot of striker-fired pistols, but there's something cool about these. There's something cool about 1911s. There's something cool about a Hipower. There's something really cool about the CZ75s, the ergonomics on these. Super lightweight as well, another aluminum frame. So I'm gonna dig this one. One of these days I'm gonna get to the range and take the camera, and if they don't mind me setting up, I'll go on during the day when it's on my lunch break or something, when there's nobody there and they might not mind me having a camera set up. But I'll try to get some shooting impressions of these. But it's a Sig. You know it's gonna shoot well. So that is the M11-A1. And I'll do maybe I'll put it in the description. It's a military pistol. It's not like the 1911 was, or the M18 or the M17, but it is one that is used, I believe, by special forces and things like that. So some of them anyway. Anyway, that's what we've got. New toy to the collection. Very happy with this acquisition, and definitely going to keep this one. And all I'm going to need to do is just see if I can find maybe a rubber, a little softer, thinner grip that just makes it feel a little bit better. And we'll go from there. Anyway, like, subscribe, share with your friends, and we'll talk to you peeps later. Be safe out there. A lot of weird shit going on in the world today. But freaking illegal immigrants shooting up Texas every week now, it seems. There's been several now, like 2 or 3 in the last 2 weeks. So people say, why do you carry a gun? I don't know. You go to the mall and all of a sudden some crazy person just walks in and starts blasting up the place. It's like, do I want to be that guy just standing there going, I got an arsenal at home. Wish I had one with me so I could defend myself or other people. This is why you carry a gun. It's a dangerous world out there, and there's a bunch of nutcases. So do what you got to do to protect yourselves, folks. Anyway, we'll talk to you later.